Hello everyone, this is Prasenjit Ghosh and welcome to the Masterful Master. Today we'll be discussing about the post-colonial literature. Now before embarking onto the post-colonial literature, let's understand what is colonialism and what is post-colonialism. Now colonialism is the act of one nation controlling other for economic gain. Now British rule over India is the example of colonialism. Now we have understood what is colonialism. Now we can easily understand what is post-colonialism. Well, post-colonialism is the period of time just after colonialism. Now I hope it is clear what is colonialism and what is post-colonialism. So it will be much easier to understand what is post-colonial literature. Well, it is the literature of all those colonized countries which were colonized mainly by European countries. Post-colonial literature emerged at the time when many colonies were fighting their way back to independence. It really began picking up as a literary movement in the mid-20th century. Many classical post-colonial texts were published between 1950s and 1990s. Now, post-colonial literature is a global term. It is not confined to geography and time. It is way beyond geography and time. It addresses the problems and consequences of decolonization of a country. It also deals with the literature written by the citizens of the colonized countries that takes colonies and their people as its subject matter. Now, post-colonial theory deals with the effects of colonization on cultures and societies and their responses. It is against the imperial powers and it is interested in the cultures of the colonizer and colonized. Themes of post-colonial literature includes cultural dominance, racism, quest for identity and inequality. Now some of the key terms of the post-colonial literature are decolonization, neoclassicism, Commonwealth literature, post-colonial feminism, racism, Orientalism and hybridity. Now let's understand these key terms of the post-colonial literature. We'll start with the decolonization. Now decolonization is when a nation seeks to become free of the oppressor or oppressed regime. It is removal of domination of non-indigenous forces. Neocolonialism is the control of less developed countries by developed countries through indirect means. Now the term Commonwealth literature does not exist anymore. Now this term referred to the literature of colonies, former colonies and the dependencies of Britain, excluding the literature of England. Now let me tell you that post-colonial literature was earlier known as the Commonwealth literature, and later Commonwealth literature was changed into post-colonial literature. In layman's language, hybridity refers to any mixing of East and Western culture. Now, racism is prejudice, discrimination, antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. Now, Orientalism is the representation of Asia in a stereotyped way that is regarded as embodying a colonial attitude. Edward Said was probably the most important figure for the rise of post-colonial studies and theory. Edward Said's prominent book Orientalism, which was published in 1978, is an assessment of the Western representation of the Eastern culture under the label post-colonial studies. Gayatri Chakravarti Spivak is thought of as one of the three co-founders of the post-colonial theory. Her main work on the post-colonial theory was her Critique of Post-Colonial Reason Toward a History of the Vanishing Present, which was published in 1999. Homi K. Bhabha is one of the most important figures in the contemporary post-colonial studies and has coined a number of the field's neologisms and key concepts such as hybridity, mimicry, difference, and ambivalence. He wrote Nation and Narration, which was published in 1990, and The Location and the Culture in 1994. Frantz Fanon was influential in the field of post-colonial studies and was perhaps the preeminent thinker of the 20th century on the issue of decolonization. I've already told you what is decolonization. Black skin, white masks and The Wretched of the Earth are the works of Frantz Fanon. These works have made Fanon a prominent contributor to the post-colonial studies. Chinua Achebe of Nigeria, with his first novel The Things Fall Apart, published in 1958, writes about the tensions between the people and the values of the native Igbo community and the Christian colonizers. Salman Rushdie's most popular novel, Midnight's Children, intertwines personal events into the history of India. Michael Ondaatje's The English Patient surveys lots of post-colonial themes. That's it from the post-colonial literature. I hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much and stay safe.